Hello there. So in this video, I want to talk about a principle. It's called the pain-pleasure principle or pleasure-pain principle. It's like the carrot and the stick. It's not a new concept. It's been around for a long, long time. Again, this is something that I incorporate in out sessions when I work with people. So how would that manifest? So if I give you a few examples. When I was younger, one of the things that I used to do every Sunday, I had to be dragged nearly screaming and kicking to it, was we had to go to church and we had to line up in the front pew. And this is what I didn't want to do every single Sunday. And this is what really made me think I don't want to go to church, because we were on view. I had my dad, my younger brother, me, my two older brothers in the church. Whenever the minister came out, then we all had to stand up, and then everybody else stood up behind us, and then the choir stood up and the minister came out, and it's as if we were all on show. The old me hated being on show, could never have stood today like I'm doing this with you, recording this, put myself out there. I wanted to just run away and hide. That was an example. I would have had tension in my neck and shoulders, as if it was nearly robotic, and as if I was just so tense. My breathing was shallow. My stomach was doing somersaults. My hands were tingling. My mouth was going dry. I just felt all eyes were on me. Fast forward to school. It was the last day before we broke up for Christmas. I got a new leather jacket on, and I thought to myself, wouldn't it be cool to go in? Because it was one of these days we didn't have to wear a uniform, and I thought, no, I can't wear this, because if I wear this nice shiny jacket, then I'm going to stand out. So I ended up wearing another coat over the top of the leather jacket. That's how I felt. I did not want to stand out. I did not want to put myself out there like that. One other time then I was doing a play, and I was one of the lead actors in it. I was about maybe 12, 13 years of age, and I just forgot my lines completely. Just completely fluffed my lines. Again, all eyes on me. Okay, so I formed the belief that it wouldn't be safe to put yourself out there, because you're going to be ridiculed, you're going to feel embarrassed, you're going to be overwhelmed, and so on. Now so what my result was then, I stayed away from certain situations. That might have worked when I was younger, but then when you get into your 20s and your 30s and your 40s and your 50s and you're still making the same decision, don't put yourself out there, because XYZ is going to happen to you. It limits your life. So when we're bringing it back to the pain-pleasure principle, in its most basic, I would be saying to myself, by playing it small, by trying to keep myself safe, by not putting myself out there, what's it costing me in my health? All those stress hormones flooding my body when I think about doing something by putting myself out there. What's it cost me in my relationships? Because people don't always get, or didn't always understand, what was going through my mind. I would have looked nervous, looked edgy. They might have thought, oh, what's happening there, and maybe pulled away. What would it cost me in my job, my employment? Because if I was afraid of going for a promotion, and I'd made a decision when I was 13, oh, I fluffed my lines then, that didn't go well, didn't like how that made me feel, better not do that again. So that's relationships as well. Finance, clearly, if you want to be, use your talents, you may decide, I don't want to use my talents, because if I do this, put myself out there, go for that job interview, play in that band or whatever it might be. Oh, I can't do that because it might go wrong. I better just play it small. So it's costing financially as well, because you don't go out there and earn as much. So those are just simple examples. So that's the pain. That's the pain of playing it small. The pleasure. Can you imagine? Because one of my mantras is, and I tap this in and do different ways to bring this to my mind every day. To me, freedom lives on the other side of fear. Freedom lives on the other side of fear. What do I mean by that? Can you imagine setting yourself free of these physical feelings, getting rid of the tension in the body, getting rid of the shallow breathing, getting rid of the mouth going dry, getting rid of the stomach doing somersaults and butterflies, so that's no longer there, so that you're settled. If you notice, the theme in all these videos is staying settled most of the time. So we're trying to bring ourselves into a good settled state. We are human, we have hormones, our body can change in different ways, so we might not always be settled, but to be able to know what it's like, or what we can do, what the techniques I can show you to help you keep settled. When you get into that settled state, then you can start to make better decisions. Well, I might forget my lines, but I might not. But if my mind's completely consumed with I'll forget my lines. Well, I'll forget my lines because instead of remembering my lines, a different part of my brain's working to make sure I don't forget my lines. So they're competing. But can you imagine if you didn't worry about forgetting your lines? You were just in the moment, nice and balanced. The lines will come to you. Your memory will be good. You'll recall it. So the pleasure of it doing well, what would that mean? I'd be free. I would make lots of friendships. I would have good relationships. I would be able to put myself out there with fun. I'd have excitement, freedom. That's the pleasure then of doing it. So those are two competing things, pain versus pleasure. And the idea and the outcome in sessions is that we reduce the pain, and that allows us to get balance, and then we can go for the pleasure. We can bring that pleasure back in. So anything that you have an issue with, it'll be self-talk. You'll be telling yourself something. I can't do this because, or they might say this and that will make me feel whatever. And also there's a physical feeling as well. But if we reduce the physical sensations, if we reduce the negative self-talk, that gets us into a balanced state. And then we can ask ourselves, how would we like to feel? How would we like to act? And once again, that's our point of attraction. That's our gold. And if I can do it, I can show you how to do it yourself.